Welcome to the Occupational Safety Leadership Podcast, episode number 97. In today's episode, we're going to just discuss a little bit about taking action, being proactive, taking the initiative, looking at these hazards, doing everything we can to reduce these hazards. Um, I know that at times when I was a young safety professional, I really thought that the boss ought to be the one who really kind of said, hey, this is kind of how it goes. And what I really found when I worked for small companies is that they literally didn't really know what I was doing. And it was really up to me to take charge. And the more I kind of um, waited for somebody else to say, hey, we think this is a hazard and we think that this is, um, in hindsight, I should have just come up with my own system, my own plan, executed it right from the get go, as opposed to, because I was young, I thought, oh, I'm going to talk it over with the boss. I'm going to propose a couple things. I'll go get some input from other supervisors. And, not that that wasn't good and valuable, but all of them were just basically like, okay, just reduce hazards. You got a good plan, go. And so I just didn't have that good confidence to get started. So in today's, I know I gave you a very long, drawn out intro. Let's just sit down and talk about taking action. So big thing that we are as safety professionals is that we're here to reduce hazards. Don't wait around and be told what to work on. Now, there's going to be times where you want to get input from others, but like all things, you kind of have to weigh the input from others as well too. Not that that doesn't mean that they're not really trying to give you input. I have found that some people are very good at pointing out other things that they're not in charge of to focus on because they're really having trouble. They're either lacking confidence, they don't want to pay for it. That's a very big one. I worked at places where they said, right, we're going to do everything we can to reduce accidents, injuries, and all that stuff. But when it came down to money, not that I didn't get that money. It just took a really long time and was really hard. So they were totally okay with doing everything that was pretty much free, but money was a different situation. So we want to look at coming up with a system to prioritize hazard reduction. And of course, there's a lot of different methods out there. I'm not going to be the one that says, hey, this is the one size that fits all. But whether you use a risk assessment, job hazard analysis, you look at old accident reports then. If you see where there's a number of finger issues, well, obviously I'd say let's focus on the finger issues then too. Um, and the historical data. And by historical data, I don't just mean like the 300 logs. Um, but all of us have been able to talk to an old timer at some point, and an old timer would say, "Well, this is where the hazards are." And sometimes it doesn't seem like a big hazard, but if it is something that keeps on happening over and over again, it's something that we really got to sit down and address. Knock this thing out, then. So today I gave you a very long intro and a little bit about my background about when I was a young safety professional. I was just so worried about getting input from everybody that I probably lost time. That in hindsight, if I sat down, came up with my own system, and said, this is how I'm going to run it, and that doesn't mean that you don't get input from others, but maybe you that's just what you're doing until that you do get input from others then too. So today's was just a very short, sweet episode. So episode number 97 is complete. Go out there, reduce those hazards, take action, be proactive, come up with your own system. And like all things, your system has to be flexible enough that if you discover something's a little more of a hazard than what you thought, vice versa, something's a little less of a hazard than what you thought, you can alter your plan and not be so rigid as in I've set this course on this boat and we're not altering from it. So have something that's specific but yet flexible enough that you can go back and alter. So episode number 97 is complete. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Dr. David Ayers. Have a safe day.